And I know this varies dramatically from movie to movie, but do you have anything in particular that you, in terms of patches, that you like to score with when you're just at the early inception stages of creating an idea?
No, yes, I do. It's in my head. That I've written a lot. I mean, it's ridiculous, like just starting on this pirate thing again, and I got all the cues from the previous movies in an iTunes folder, and it's 11 hours of music. And I thought Wagner wrote a lot for The Ring. So there's 11 hours there of stuff I've done, and every time I touch the keyboard, it just sounds like stuff I've done before. So I really try to sort of sit on my hands for a while and try to figure it out in my head and write in my head. Because, there's nothing more virtuoistic, is that a word? Well, I made it up, whatever. That, you're not limited by technique, you're not limited by muscle memory in a way. So before I touch the keyboard, I'd like to know roughly what I'm going to go and play. Same with sounds. I don't just go and mess around. I mean, I'm very specific. Okay, I need something that does this and that and the other. I don't think I know how else you can do it. And it's not like that. But once you start, you don't let it flow and let it go and take on a life of its own and become something completely different than what you set out to do. But you have to have a point of view and you have to have a concept. Otherwise, there's nothing.
You were speaking about your having 11 hours in the can in terms of material. I'm wondering, particularly with the tight deadlines, if you, let's say, have inherited a film that somebody else scored and now it's your turn and the deadline's tighter than ever, do you find yourself ever going back and looking for old material, or do you just say it's quicker to just do something fresh?
It's quicker to do something fresh. I'm always tempted. I just chuck things out, but sometimes, Henry Jackman just the other day came to me and said, hey, remember that tune you wrote for that, oh, yeah. But then I have to relearn it. Mm-hmm. And relearning it in a funny way takes as long as just, let's just go and make up something new, And then the problem is it doesn't fit, it was written for a different purpose. I mean, it's like, my problem with sampling is, the reason I think sampling is so boring in a way is because somebody plays a note at a certain moment in time with a certain emotion that is at that particular instance in time, and it doesn't mean anything 2 months down the road. So everything becomes a little generic and everything becomes a little non-specific.
So then you're kind of in the territory of music libraries and that sort of thing.
Yes, and I mean the whole, so yet again, because I'm forever skirting around your question, where's it all gonna go? Well, of course, sampling is, it's boring, but so how? But at the same time, how can we go and have these things evolve and become really playable and become of the moment? If I could have my favorite cellist under my fingertips, as they say in the ads, and it really would be, adapting itself to what I'm writing at that particular moment in time. That'd be great, and I think that is where we're heading.
You think it's going to be some sort of combination between the Melodyne's type of technology and static sampling, or?
No, I think it's going to be a little bit more intelligent. Whereby I think modeling is a future. It's just, it's the same with sample libraries. What always amazes me is which instrument did they model? Did they really go and get a Stradivarius, or did they just get a crappy violinist with a crappy violin? So maybe partly why none of that has really caught our ear is partly we don't know how to use the technology, and partly the aesthetic of the boffin who was building the thing in the first place might not have been the Berlin Phil at full blast, you know. I mean, so a lot of things go into making something successful and making something good. You know, it's like the iPad. I mean, do you have an iPad?
No, I haven't got one yet.
Okay, well, if you get one, it's this sort of amazing piece of technology, because there's no reason why you would want to use it, because it's like the iPhone, but it doesn't have a phone. You know, it's not as big as a computer. It doesn't have a proper keyboard, etc. But once you get it, you suddenly start doing all these things you never dreamt of doing. And you start, for instance, music applications, you start doing things in a very different way. And it was like, you couldn't imagine before it was there that you would enjoy it that much, or that you could be that creative with it. And I think the same goes for instrument designs. You know, I mean, a lot of thought obviously went into the iPad. And I think the same sort of thinking, the same sort of creativity, and the same sort of, I don't know about resources, but certainly the same sort of craftsmanship and artistry needs to go into whatever the next instruments are. You know, and that, I think, is something that used to happen, because I think whatever the limitations of a mini Moog, it stood the test of time, and it's a really well designed interface, and it's a very satisfying thing to play, and that's really ultimately what it comes down to. You know, you want to have a tool that you go back. You want to go and play with it every day.